Welcome everybody. Y'all ready for this? The Hustle. My name is Steve Aramopoulos, and these are my co-hosts. I'm Talia. And I'm Tech Luciano. You may have heard me on radio, you may have never heard of me at all, but that's okay.
Cause y'all gon' learn today. Your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle, under pressure that will break a foe. Keep chasing your goals until you blow. Now, welcome to the hustle.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Hustle Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Last episode we mentioned it was episode 19. It was actually episode 20. This is episode 21.
Okay.
So yeah,
We're legal now.
21.
we're 21, baby. 21 years old.
You're
We got a special guest over here to pop the cherry. You know, the 21-year-old. You know,
It was odd, but
I'm ruining this. Let's go.
Yeah,
Wow.
Okay, so we got basics in the motherfucking
Yes,
building.
we do.
Let's start from scratch over there. We got
Yes, we
basics in
do.
the building. Man, it's been a long time since I seen you.
That's a fact.
Like, I used to catch you here and there on Queen Mary
That's a fact.
the last couple of times. But before that, I used to be at the hip-hop shows. All the local venues.
he lived at the hip hop shows. That's a fact.
And Basics was just like a fucking staple at all these
Yep.
places.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so welcome, man. Thank you for being here.
Thank you guys for having me, man. It's an honor, man. I love what you guys are doing. I love the setup. I know that at home you guys can only see a part of this, but it's fucking incredible. Can I swear? I'm
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
of
you can
course,
swear
man.
like a motherfucker.
But yeah, man, it's super dope, man. I love the paintings. I love the vibe, the lighting. Like, you know, Tech got me with the little pen to make me feel right at home. So mine's got small.
You got a little bit of tangy over here.
Still, so very blessed.
I
very
may or may not be the plug, allegedly.
Take a nice long puff, bro. I know you've been waiting for it. There you go.
She hits proper, huh? So for those of you watching and listening who may not have heard of Basics, you know, this guy, listen, man, he's on TV, La Fin Des Faibles, ladies and gentlemen, 3-time end of the week world motherfucking champion and shit. So I mean, if you haven't heard of him, yeah, rep it.
See the chain?
He's definitely been doing his thing. He's been putting it down. I actually, bro, I met Basics back in Dawson, which you probably don't even remember because I looked significantly different back then, meaning I had a lot of hair. And they used to have the cipher circles at the atrium, like upstairs at Conrad's.
Conrad's
right?
around the
And,
railing.
yeah,
shit,
bro.
yeah.
And these were epic days because Frost would come through. Peso was in the building many times. Birdman was there. Of course, Basics would come through. I would be there. Chad Ash. I mean, like a who's who of like Montreal hip hop from those days were at Dawson just freestyling, and that's where I first met Basics. And bro, like, you know, you've been literally kind of like putting it down ever since. So I commend you on that.
Thank you, bro.
Where do you want to start? You want to start with how you got into the music shit? I guess that would be the most appropriate.
I think I'd like to know about that because, I already know about the end of the week journey, which we're gonna get into as well.
Of course.
But I don't know nothing about early Basics. I need to know about early Basics. Let us know.
Well, I
man.
mean, part of like, I don't know how far back you guys want to go, but like as far as like early Basics, part of my growth and development was all this time at Dawson spent kind of like just freestyling, and specifically with Birdman, Hype Man P.
Yeah,
like
shout out.
This guy would just. We could just be standing there doing nothing, and this guy would just walk up and just be like, "No, rapping now." And he would just start beatboxing.
Yo, he
and
was
it
definitely the
like,
maestro at
He
Dawson.
was really,
like,
he was really like he lived up
was.
to the name Hype Man
Yeah,
P. Shout
big
out
time.
Patrick, man,
Big
miss you,
time.
bro. And
Big
like
time.
this guy would just literally just start boom boom, and you remember, his energy like beatboxing was like he was like, we didn't need a Bluetooth speaker, bro.
Facts.
Like it wasn't like the type of beatbox where it was like you wouldn't pay attention or notice. It was also like the feeling of constantly being put on the spot, where it was like if you didn't rap when he beatboxed, it was like everyone's like all of a sudden paying attention to what's happening because he's just like, yo, y'all are rapping right now, and he's just start beatboxing, and then it's like, okay, well, we gotta rap. Like we can't not rap now, I guess. So yeah, I mean, I had been rapping, not really to say I've been rapping my own stuff before, but like I always grew up singing to R&B and to hip hop and whatever, you know, 80s baby, growing up with the golden era, as you will.
It was the golden era.
Like,
don't even air quotes it. It was.
We gonna get into that, you know. We
It
gonna
was.
get into that, but basically, the feeling of those ciphers, the feeling of those freestyles, the feeling of like having people like watch you and kind of like pay attention and like hang on to your every word, like they're looking forward to the next thing that you're about to say, was like a drug almost. It was very like,
we just talked about that with
crazy.
Tokes on the last episode.
Like it's this power like this, and it was like, yo, I had never been in that much control. I mean, hence the master of ceremonies, MC, etc. Right? It's like I had never seen that kind of a environment or that kind of an energy, other than like, you know, watching MTV or whatever, growing up and seeing it and being a fan of it, but never having any true like involvement like that. And like, you know, we come from an era where you didn't just like rap if you didn't have no bars. Like you didn't just jump into a cypher. Like you stood there, and if you knew you didn't have more than like 2-3 lines, you didn't rap because you didn't want to mess up what was going on. Because then everybody would be looking at you like, word, bro? Nah, step back with that. Dog.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like I remember seeing Frost and Widget and these guys at the park at Peel Park when it was 20, 30, 40, 50 people in a circle, and like, and it was like almost intimidating. Like, oh shit, like I'm
it was intimidating.
Like, I'm not ready to rap like with these guys right now. Like shout out Widget, who's like a legend too.
Big
like,
up Widget, yep.
And yeah, so that's kind of early basics, is like that feeling of that energy from humans and being like, oh shit, like this is a crazy vibe to be able to harness this and kind of like use it for my own, you know, desires, so to speak. You know what I mean? So like that's kind of where that thirst came from.
And if I'm not mistaken, like from my time back in the day, you weren't really putting out music. Like you always had bars, dude. Like you came, you had a bag full of bars, basically.
Yeah, Basics would just pull up wherever motherfuckers was at and start rapping, bro. Like, yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
What was the reason behind that? Why were you waiting? Like, did you think that you needed?
Honestly, my biggest problem, I was just talking about this with Holden HSR behind the Sue. Shout out to him on his interview in his podcast.
Hustle Podcast alumni as well.
Exactly. I know he was just on here, so that's why I shouted him out. But like I was discussing this with him, and he was saying, you know, the biggest gripe that I hear when people talk to me about you is the fact that you don't have enough music out. And my biggest problem, to be perfectly honest with you, like I told him, has just been my own laziness and my own lack of discipline and like dedication to say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go record and I'm gonna put it out. And also like there's a certain perfectionism that you kind of feel towards yourself.
I suffer from that disease like, big time.
No, this isn't good enough. Yep. I feel like I've set some kind of a standard for myself, and then it's like if I feel like something isn't to that par, it's just like I don't even want people to hear it. Yeah. Almost like a fear thing, right? Where it's like, damn, like, you know, it's really all based on ego at the end of the day.
100%.
Human being,
100%.
you know what I mean? And these kind of reactions, and it's like, damn, do I want people to? I don't want people to think I'm trash. I'm always very fearful of people thinking I'm whack. Even when I come off stage or I'm at a show or whatever, and people are like, bro, you killed it. And I'm like, but did you hear this? Did you hear when I did this and I missed up the word? You didn't notice that?
And they're like, bro, just take the compliment.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm like, yeah, bro, but
you're
like, not whack.
Damn, what if people thought I was trash?
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, any artist who takes their craft super serious, I think suffers from that bug for sure. 100%. I mean, I don't know, man. No, actually I'm lying, because we talked about it. I can't remember which episode it was, but we talked about me wishing that I just had the ability that some of these terrible rappers have to just not give a fuck and
about
just
what
put out 30 songs in like 2 months, and they're all trash, but like they're super committed to the release. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and like I'm sitting here on like a bank of probably very decent music, and none of it's getting released because I'm like, it's not perfect, bro. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's a dichotomy that I think artists go through for sure. You're not alone, you know.
It's definitely something that I think we we struggle with as far as like that balance, because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, we live in a place where it's like the click, it's like the internet trail, if you will, and like. One thing that I've realized is like my internet trail can go cold a lot faster than other people's, just because of a lack of tangible material being out there.
Yeah,
and so like I need to bridge that gap. HSR, bridge the gap. In order to kind of like fix that trend, to be honest with you, because there's a perception also where it's like, yo, you're so dope, why you don't have more stuff out? Type thing, you know. No, I need to curb that. So.
Yeah, look, when I look at you from the outside looking in, it's like You're moving like a free spirit. I drop shit when I want to drop it.
It's true. It's true, man. It's true. And I've had some features since, but my last single was on 420. This one.
It's a big track still.
Yeah, and even that is like something I've been performing for the last like 4 or 5 years and didn't release. Yeah. So it's like, what were you gonna say though?
We just listened to 2 of your tracks on the way here. Actually,
word up.
It's like, let's go check Spotify, see what Basics got.
Word up.
You had 2 tracks. Do you have more tracks on Spotify? Or is
but the rest of them are features with like Wasiu, Cigarettes and Poutine.
We heard that one.
Woodman.
Very dope.
There's a few tracks I have on Woodman's last 2 albums. Mm-hmm. And then there's a few like my YouTube channel, you know what I mean? Like there's a few other like free verses or not freestyles, but like the Dirty 32. I don't know if you guys seen that Raw 101 series. Yeah. And now I'm sitting on like 3-4 new songs with a video. So I'm just kind of going through the process of stopping myself from over perfectioning in it, so I can just drop it. You know,
you have to get over that because at the end of the day, bro, it's like me and Tokes we're talking on the ride up here about that, and it's like to us maybe, you know, like listening to our own shit, it's we're always gonna find something to nitpick no matter what it is. It's whether it's a fucking ad lib that's a millisecond out of place or, you know, a background vocal that could have been slid over by a, you know, whatever it is. But to the consumer, they're not really paying attention to that type of shit. Like, do they like the song? Do they like the vibe? That's really it, bro. And you bring the vibe. So I mean, you know, I would say, man, release some more fucking music, bro. Like shit. You know, you're one of the dope ones, bro. So you need to be representing, you know, for the scene, bro.
Yeah, the singing is on point. Like I totally forgot that you could fucking sing like that. So I heard it, and we're listening to the track, and I think Lambros at one point he's like, "Oh, so he's this dude," and I'm listening. I'm like, "No, it doesn't sound like Basics' voice." And then you come in and you're singing. I'm like, and you're just killing it. You're like. You're dancing all over the track and everything. I'm like, holy shit, this guy! I didn't even know he has fucking pipes like that. You know? Respect. And then we listened to the Raw. We listened to the Raw 32 bars.
Right.
And it's like totally different.
Let me not knock you out.
Two different spectrums. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, hence the joke of the dollar store Drake. But that's kind of something that one of my boys actually like dubbed me with. The same guy who actually told me that I should call myself Basics. Cause and I'll answer the singing thing, but just like on a tangent, like, you know, before Basics I was calling myself Lyrical Miracle. Which is just
Basics is way better still.
Oh my
Lord, Basics is way better.
Lyrical, miracle, spiritual, typical, biblical.
For sure. Let's go.
How
many syllables can you fit into a 16?
Right,
like, you know
exactly. And the worst part is like I was spelling it like lyrical, like the normal way, but like miracle was also like MYRIC. That was very terrible.
Let's stick to Basics.
Yes. Do you want to hear the name before Lyrical Miracle?
I do.
Super embarrassing name. When I was like 14-ish, one of my boys wanted to rap. A couple of my boys were already like rapping. You remember you had the little dollar store mic in your computer, the
Logitech, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And because I'm mixed, I was like thinking of like a super ironic name. And thank God that
if you say Oreo,
yes, it was Oreo.
Oh my God.
Oreo,
tremendous,
terrible.
Let's run with it.
Let's run with it. So if anybody ever wants to diss me,
the new mixtape double stuff. We outside.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, for sure, yo, singing. Honestly, I was singing before I was ever rapping, and like growing up with like, you know, R&B and stuff is like I grew up singing along to stuff and just, you know. When my mom had me, she was like 23, 24, and she was listening to the popular music of the 80s and 90s, right? So growing up, it was that era too. Like I even find it even more of a golden era for R&B than it is for hip hop, because I don't think R&B really even exists anymore.
It doesn't.
By the definition,
it's like
of
something.
It's like a new thing.
It's a new hybrid.
It's sing rap now. It's sing rap.
Yeah,
it is. No, it is.
yeah,
It's all
like
like
real
I'm fucking
R&B,
your
I
bitch.
feel
Like, you
like
know what I mean? It's
doesn't
like, man,
exist
bro.
anymore, you
I
know
need
what I
some
mean?
ballads and shit. Like, you know
That's
what I
what
mean?
I'm saying,
bro. Like,
where's the ballads?
I'm a R&B head, low key.
Where's
And
the
like,
I love you so much,
yeah, bro.
and it hurts.
Like
Yeah.
I'm from the
Dude
music
standing in
soul
the rain,
child,
you know what I mean?
the music
Oh
soul
my
childs.
God.
You know the like that's my vibe, bro. The
Yeah, facts.
Anthony Hamiltons. Like that's to
Yeah,
me,
facts.
and that wasn't even 90s. That was like early 2000s. But
Yeah,
to me,
yeah,
like
yeah, exactly.
that's the R&B I listen to.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And I like to showcase the fact that I could do both because there's a certain like when everybody and their cousin raps, so like and their auntie and the baby mama and their
No,
mom
facts.
too, and
It's
the
a fact.
mixtape's just coming
It's a
out right
fact.
now, so it's
on
like
that piff.
you know what I mean. So it's like there's a certain differentiation when you sing, and it just creates a different reaction and feeling out of people. To be honest with you, and like I kind of low key enjoy singing more than I do rapping.
Of course.
I love rapping, but like singing is a whole different exercise and form of expression. You know what I mean? And it resonates with people so much different.
It's more rewarding too.
Yeah,
for me personally, and I can't even sing like I can't sing like you. I could kind of sing, but I can't sing like you. But like, yeah, singing is just it's more fun to me, and it's more creative. You know, like it's just I like it.
Hitting
Like, yeah,
different
when we hit
and
when,
riffs
when
and
we hit the auto tune hooks and stuff, it's fun to do it. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
But I think when you hear it like coming out raw and natural, the way you do it, man, it's like, how did you get to that point? Was it always something that you could always belt it out that way, or did you train somehow, or did you like just constantly listen to that song and over and
I
over
feel like you
again?
just smoked a bunch of weed and sang. That's how I feel like it happened, bro. Knowing basics.
Actually, you know, smoking actually led me to rap more because it's like obviously it's not really great for your voice. Other than like D'Angelo, I don't really know who really smokes a lot of weed, and it doesn't have some kind of effect on the
because
voice.
it gives you the raspy.
Yeah, it gives you the raspy. It takes some of your breath strength out and stuff like that.
For sure.
But honestly, like I've never really had like singing lessons or anything. I think my like development came from like singing along to music and like trying to sound exactly like what I was singing. Like I was trying to sound like Brian McKnight singing the song, not like me singing along to it.
Right,
I was trying to imitate and copy it to the best that I could. And same thing with any other song, right? It was like I was trying so hard to kind of like, oh no, I don't sound like it. Oh, now I sound like it. Oh, okay, I can do that. Oh, you know. And then eventually having enough guts to like sing in front of people or sing, you know, you're trying to, let's be real. When I say sing in front of people, I mean like sing for girls to try to like make them think
sure,
I was
100%. Let's go.
less annoying than I was, you know?
Yeah.
And like just people's reaction to being like, oh, you can sing. And it was like, oh, I can? I thought I could. You think I can. Okay, maybe I can sing. And then it was just like, okay, try it out, keep going. And through the years, all these different various experiences, being in ciphers and sing rapping or, you know what I mean? Going to like urban science over time and performing with a live band many, many, many times. And all these different experiences have kind of developed and built the singing. All that to say, I need to get singing lessons. Because I feel like if I actually...
They never heard. I mean...
Yeah, like... Because I don't know the true structure of breath control. And
yeah, that is actually super key. I feel like it will change. It'll bring you it'll unlock a new level for you. Big time. Let's transition over to end of the week, because for my own selfish reasons, I can't wait to talk about this shit, because I kind of want to get into like the Royce the 5'9" and Lupe conversation with you a little bit later. But before we do that, let's talk about you being a 3-time champion. How did this fall into your lap, bro? Like, pause, but like how did it fall into your lap?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I had seen End of the Week before. Like, for those who maybe don't know what End of the Week is.
Yeah, let's tell them what it is.
I'll just at least say, like, End of the Week basically is a worldwide MC competition. It's kind of like a rap Olympics, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's something that was started in the year 2000 in New York. It was a weekly open mic. It was every Sunday. It was a weekly open mic that they were running every week at this place called the Pyramid. And your favorite battle rappers and some industry rappers have been through the End of the Week system in New York, from the Math Hoffas to the Immortal Techniques and Iron Solomons, and the list goes on, and even to nowadays, like you said, Lupe Fiasco talking about End of the Week, and we'll get into that. But,
we will.
But basically, End of the Week is a worldwide hip hop Olympics. There's like 16 countries, Depending on the year, it's anywhere from 8, 12, 16 countries participate. There's a world finals in a different place. And in 2015, the world finals were in Montreal. So I had the chance to kind of like see this event for the first time. I had no idea what the hell it was, but I knew Urban Logics and Monkey and Cynical and certain other people. And in 2016, I tried to jump in as a crowd MC, because they invite 4 MCs to participate in the competition, and they have a 5th spot for a crowd MC. So basically, whoever wants to rap that night, you come up, you get 60 seconds, you freestyle on the same beat. All of you guys, the crowd cheers for the person they like the most.
Okay.
I sucked, and so I didn't get chosen as a crowd MC, but I got to watch the show and kind of be like, oh, this is what it is. The next year, I did a freestyle competition with Urban Science, Le Cypher, called Le Freestyle. And one of the judges was one of the organizers of End of the Week Quebec, Guillaume. Shout out Guillaume. And he saw me win the contest that night, and he was like, yo, I saw you. I remember you from last year. Like, do you want to come compete this year, like, as an invited MC? And I was like, yo, for sure. Hell yeah, you know? Say yes, by the way, if I could give. We'll get into that after.
Yeah,
but like,
save it for the gem. Save it for the gem. Save it for the gem.
But like, basically, he invited me to come through, participate, and I came through. I won my semifinal, went to the Montreal finals the first year in 2017, won that, and then ended up going to the world finals in Prague, and I got second place in the world. Shout out to first place Osiris Anthem, who is 2-time world champion, who's the root of that whole Lupe Fiasco Royce thing. But yeah, so that's basically the end of the week lineage. I mean, like I was saying, it's a competition, so there's 5 rounds. Just to break it down super quick, like the first round is a written on a beat. The second round is a cappella. The third round is what they call a grab bag. So there's 5 items in a bag. They pull it out. You got to rap about it. Okay. The fourth round is MC versus DJ. So the DJ is going to try to switch the tempo 3 times, switch the beat, do whatever to fuck you up. And you got to basically stick with it.
Nice.
And then the 5th round is the cypher. So 4 bars. You know what the cypher is. I don't need to explain it to you. But and then it's judged on criteria, like, so content, creativity, crowd control, like charisma. There's 5 categories of scoring. And that's how they basically.
That's fucking dope.
So it's really like people think it's a freestyle competition. That's kind of like a misconception of what End of the Week is. It's really an MC challenge, because it covers all of the different forms of MCing. Can you rap without a beat? Can you be exposed in that situation and have nothing to hide behind? You know what I mean? Which sidebar is one of the reasons why I love battle rap. Because there's nothing to hide behind. There's no DJ to rewind the song. It's just you and a crowd and empty space, and just like, what can you do with that? You know what I mean? So there's a big respect for that art form right there.
That was great too. Like, if I'm not mistaken, when you got that trip to Prague, it was your first time leaving Canada, no?
Yeah. It was my first time.
Like,
what a place to go too.
Yeah, I had never had a passport before. Shout out my boy Kendall, who actually paid for my passport at the time, because I couldn't afford to do the passport, and he was like, bro, you're not gonna not go, dude.
And how was the culture shock though?
To be honest with you, of all the places I visited, because at this point I've been to 7-8 countries because of the rap shit, like the closest place to Montreal that I felt that was actually Prague. Surprisingly enough, like, there's a very like I mean, most of Europe, like architecturally wise and stuff, you know, there's a lot of Montreal stuff. It's New Europe, right?
It's based on Europe.
But like the vibe of Prague was very like open and cool, like Montreal. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, the first night that we got there, we went to the Airbnb, we dropped our stuff, and then we're going to this Monday freestyle night that they do with a band and everything. So we're on the way there. We're taking like public transportation, and we're like 5 deep, speaking English, talking about hip hop. We're clearly not from there. Like, you know, when you're when you're somewhere new, you stick out like a sore thumb no matter what you try to do. So we're just talking and there's a guy sitting on with his girl. She's sitting on his lap, and he's just like watching us, and like they're going to get off, and he's like, hey, you guys are into hip hop, huh? And we're like, yeah, you know, like, we're here for this. We explain like a little tiny part of what we're there for. And he's like, oh man, that's dope, man, I love Wu-Tang. He starts talking to us. Yo, he takes out his container with bare trees, bro, like crazy gas, bro, like, and he just takes out this nug, like, and he's just like, here, welcome to Prague.
That's wicked.
And I was like, we were just like, yo, say word,
Yeah,
man. Like
that's
it
ill,
was
that's
like it was such a dope vibe, you know what I mean? And like just the fact of being able to go out and walk the streets, it was very much like it was like if all of Montreal felt like the old port.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the best way that I could describe it. Like a summer
I can
night in the old
visualize
port,
it.
it
Yeah.
feels like that was the whole city.
That's
Like
crazy.
Dope.
That's crazy.
And you said rap brought you to 7-8 countries at this point.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't let him
Yeah.
just skip over that. Like,
Yeah, like
like it was nothing.
where these other countries?
I
at,
should
man?
be more cocky.
Yeah, you should floss a little bit, bro.
I should like, it's just not in my nature as a person to be like, yeah, dog, I'm the best rapper in the city. You guys ain't doing nothing. You got 1 million Spotify views. You ain't been nowhere, son. Where you been? My music's on the radio in different countries around the world. Before I ever had music on Spotify, holla at me. But it's like, that's just not my style, you know?
Yeah.
But no, but I was able to go to Prague. I was able to go to Amsterdam, Netherlands. I was able to go to the second year it was in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third year it was in Brussels, but instead of getting a ticket back from Brussels, what I did is I linked with my people that I knew through the end of the week in London.
Okay, nice.
Shout out Apex Masla, G-Bag, Kissy, all these guys from London. And basically I spent like 12 days
That's ill.
in London and got a return flight from London back to Montreal.
Fire.
instead.
That's my dream to go out to London, bro.
Honestly,
Yeah.
so dope. And also St. Louis, I was able to
No.
to perform out in St. Louis. And yeah, so it's been hella dope. But yo, London, fire.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. London, as far as like the vibe, like the food, as far as like West Indian food, Caribbean
for
food,
sure, for sure.
the whole vibe is crazy. And also just like the
Bruv.
the slang.
Yo,
and
I
the-
love it. I love it.
There's a huge similarity. You
Yeah,
know what I
big
mean? Like
time.
when we were out in Prague the first year, there was a point I was saying something, and my boy Apex, who I stayed with in London, he was like, "Yo, he sounds like one of the youths from the ends," you know. And I was like, what the fuck is the ends? And it's like, that's the hood. That's how they call the hood and shit, the ghetto and shit. And it's like, because I was saying something like, yo, I'm trying to dip out still. What do you guys say?
Yeah, yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that, you
Like
know?
mad
Like,
things.
yeah,
Yeah,
yo,
things?
that London slang though is so fire.
It's
though.
catchy. It's
Jog
catchy
on.
as fuck.
Jog on, mate. Get on your bike.
So you came back, you had a fucking fanny pack, and you were just saying bruv the whole time.
The whole time.
That's
I was
it,
a
yeah.
man dem. Spider-Man. You Spider-Man dem. You seen
Trust me.
the Spider-Man dem meme with the little,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, so rap has taken me around the world. It's been a blessing, to be honest with you, because like you said, like, I didn't have a passport before, and I had never, like, and we come from an era where, like, things like the radio and stuff like that was important. It, like, was a real thing. It was like, oh, like, radio? Like, we're on the radio in another country rapping?
Yeah.
That's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I was able to do some of this stuff. It's like, I never thought that I would be able to, you know, when I saw the Eiffel Tower for the first time, when I turned that corner and I saw it, I was like, yo, say word.
That's crazy, though.
Like, it's because we're from that era where we seen it in magazines and shit and in videos.
Yeah.
But it was never, I never thought like I would film scenes for one of my music videos with the Eiffel Tower lit up
That's
behind.
crazy. That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like that's
And rap brought you there on top of it, which is even crazier.
which is wild, right? Like I never thought I would rap in front of more than 10, 15 people, let alone be rapping in another country in front of 1,000 people. Like
But it's crazy because it's like you go back to the days at Conrad's, bro, and then it's like, you know, now you're in Paris, you're in Prague, it's wild. That's crazy,
wild, right? Like
it's crazy.
And like I wouldn't have like every step of the way that every opportunity or every like little thing has been like a continual training ground to kind of like be able to even get to these places, you know what I mean? Like I'm happy I went through these phases of the Dawson rapping
For
and
sure.
all these different things, because like if I wasn't rapping before in front of people that I was intimidated to rap in front of, like Logix or Widget or different people, like I wouldn't ever have the bars. I would never have the vibe, the feeling if I didn't see other people do it too and be like, oh shit, this is how you rip it up for a crowd. Okay, look how they're vibing to this person. You know what I mean? Like, it's a wild blessing. You know, I've seen Poison Pen battling. I've seen it, and then like I've I've done a show opening for Poison Pen in Prague.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's
dude.
ridiculous.
Life doesn't get better than that at that point.
No, it doesn't. Honestly, like, that's what I've thought every time that I've been traveling. I've thought, like, man, like, if I can figure out a way to just make this just pay my bills, I don't even need to get rich. Just let me travel, pay
Live
my
comfortably,
travel, and pay my bills, and just live a normal everyday life like I do now, but I can do it through the music. What a blessing, bro!
Yeah.
To see new people and new
Well,
places.
listen, I feel like you're definitely on the right road to doing that. You've gotten significant exposure. The end of the week nod, bro, is at least in one segment of the hip hop community, definitely stripes. You got those stripes with a lot of people who pay attention to that aspect of the scene. We'll circle back to end of the week because I do want to talk about the Lupe Royce thing. But before we do that, let's translate into La Fin Des Faibles, because for people who don't know, the man's on TV, fam, and for a fucking English Montreal rapper to be on Quebec media rapping, bro.
Facts.
Like no. I want to like literally take a moment and not say nothing to let that shit sink in. I'll say it again. An English Montreal rapper on Quebec media for rapping camera, okay, is a big fucking deal, dog. It's a big deal. So I want to tip my hat if I was wearing one to you for that. Let's talk about Fin Des Faibles a little bit, bro. How's that been? How's it treated you?
It's been very cool. To be honest with you, like you said, like being an English person, like to be honest with you, and like I said on the show, and like I said to the guys, shout out Benoit, Aimé, Guillaume, the whole organization of End of the Week Quebec, as well as everybody involved with the TV show, Catherine, all the producers, everybody like that. Like when they first was announced that the show was going on, there was a part of me that felt a little jaded because it was in French and it was on French TV, and I was like, bro, what about all of us English folks who have been rapping and who are in End of the Week,
who built the scene,
and who kind of like, you know, have won the last 3 years, and now I won't be able to defend my championship because it's in French, and it's like, I don't rap in French, you know what I mean? But then as I kind of like looked at the opportunity, I kind of understood the macro perspective of what's happening with the End of the Week and La Fin Des Faibles, and the involvement in the entire culture, really, like as a culture shifting moment, because it's like, not only was I an English person on a French hip hop show, but like that's the way I was being presented and shown. Like, this is the champ, but he raps in English. Okay. And now he's coming to rap in French. Yeah. Like, that's what's up. You know what I mean? And like the fact that was their approach was really dope.
That is dope.
And the fact that the show got such a huge wave as far as like like I said, culture shifting, because like if you look, like the Ministère de la Culture, she was tweeting about the TV show. Like it brought hip hop into a place in front of people's eyes in this province that it wasn't in front of their eyes in that way ever before. Right. And it brought a certain legitimacy to even just the art form, to the culture itself, to the visual, to the graffiti, to the clothing, to the mannerisms and the body language, and it took away some of the stigma of, you know, like big props to the producers of the show for allowing us to say whatever we wanted, and big props to some of the artists like Monkey and Elme, some of these guys who took the time to craft stuff that was like almost semi-controversial, but it was like, yo, this is what hip-hop's about. It's a platform for speaking the truth and to be a voice of the people, and so it was like their respect for the culture was a big part of why I think it went so well and why I think it did so well. And I think it's kind of groundbreaking what happened with it. It's really dope that they're coming back with a second season this year, and I think eventually what will happen is there's going to be a time where it'll be able to be like on an English channel, like a CBC or something like that, where it can be, and then at that point it can be a countrywide search, and we can have two champions. We can have an English End of the Week champion and a French End of the Week champion from Canada. You know what I mean? And I think that'll be super dope. And even to sidebar, like End of the Week New York has a contest going on right now they have a thing with Diesel fragrances that just got announced like 2 days ago.
That's fire.
And there's 3 prizes. It's like an online MC challenge,
Mm-hmm.
and the first prize is $5,000.
Nice.
So it's like it's nothing to turn your nose up at.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
for
I
real.
mean? So
You got
it's
the
just really
skills.
dope to see the progression in the culture, because like I'm sorry if the answer is like really elaborate.
no,
It's a podcast, bro. It's
that's
not a
what-
radio.
that's what
You're
we're
good,
here
you're
for.
good.
That's
You're
what
good.
we're
It's
here
like
for.
I was chilling at a point during while the show was on TV. I went to like chill at the mountain, and I was just like smoking a spliff, and I was hanging, and like I heard like these kids, like teens, 20-year-olds, and like they were talking about the TV show, and I was just sitting there like overhearing their conversation, and I was just so mind blown to see that it was such a like. It was so relevant. It was really like everywhere. And if you notice, like since the TV show, look at all the like the advertisements that you see on buses and metros
Yeah.
for like rappers.
Yeah,
and
white
for
beat.
like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I think, like I said, it really brought hip hop into people's homes that wouldn't have necessarily been open to receiving
Big
it
time.
in any other way before that.
Big time.
And that's really a shift in energy and thought process when it comes to like, especially with all due respect to this province specifically.
No, it's a fact.
Like,
if you won't say it, I will. You're 100%.
You know what I
You're
mean?
100%
Like,
right.
so I think it's like it was really important. Like looking back, I'm so happy that I decided to even audition and that they chose me to be a part of it, because like 400 something people applied to audition, and they made like 120 or 150 people audition, and out of that they chose 16 people to be on the show. And the fact that an English guy was part of that is like, I feel like the fact that I was on French TV and I got to rap "Mama, we made it," like, and say a 1-2 English bar is like,
That's big.
you
It's
know what I
huge.
mean?
It's huge.
It's huge. You know what I mean?
It's Montreal,
like,
man.
Yeah, and like in a way, it was also to say like, yo, like we're here, cause like like there's, if we're gonna be honest, there's a huge divide when it comes to this province as far as like language. Like Rap Keb is its own little niche world.
Yeah.
It is.
And the thing about it is there's a huge amount of English that is in Rap Keb. It's just it's anglicism. It's part of the steez, but it's like English hip hop almost doesn't have a place to exist in this province.
It doesn't.
We don't have the same amount of funding, the same amount of like even acknowledgement or appreciation, or just like, hey, you're here.
Exactly.
You exist. There's an entire world of English hip hop here in Quebec.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I felt like a part of me was like waving that flag more than even just being like the end of the week champ. It was also like, hey, like English MCs, we're out here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
So yeah, it was dope, man. I'm really appreciative that I got a chance to be a part of that.
Like you said, felt a little jaded at the time since it was French coming back in French. Is it still being done in both languages, or it's strictly in French now, and they totally gave up on the end of the week concept?
Well, right now the show's coming back for a second season. It is going to be in French again, but I think their goal is to really use the networking, like use the partnership, because at the end of the day, like End of the Week Quebec is it's still its own entity and company, and they still hold like intellectual property rights and everything over the whole entire thing. It's like it's kind of like did End of the Week sign a record deal? No, they signed a distribution deal.
Right.
They got to take advantage of the French market.
Advantage of the market, and it's almost like it's almost like going to like Shark Tank, and it's like I have a proof of concept now. So now they can actually eventually in a year or two or whatever, however it goes, maybe they can go and be the first French and English label in Quebec.
Right.
Maybe it can transition to that. You know what I mean? Because at a point, End of the Week in New York was a label.
Yeah.
And so it's like you never know where it's gonna go, but the more that they're able to achieve with the platforms that they have, the more that they can then turn around and be like, hey, look.
Yeah.
Because just to say, like last year, they had the ability to see like how many people were watching, how many people were tuned in before the TV show went on, how many people were tuned in while the show was on. And there was a visible increase in the TV and in the use of the online. That's one thing that the show brought a lot, is like a lot of people were downloading the Télé Québec app and watching the show online and watching the replay and da-da-da. And that's like a power. You have leverage when you're able to say that.
Big
you know
time.
what I mean?
You have
Like,
leverage with the network, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and like I just heard this about. I was watching an interview sidebar with like Q-Tip and Math Huff, and he was talking about Kevin Hart and how he leverages his Instagram, and it's its own like. Even if he does a business deal with you and whatever other thing, if you want him to also part of it on his, then it's a different
extra bag.
Yeah, and it's like it's the leverage of your followers and your numbers and etc. I mean, we live in that world, right? Analytics, right? So I think they're doing a really good thing, and I think eventually you're gonna see, if not a English-French competition, maybe you're gonna see like an English Canada-wide one.
I hope so,
and I hope so too, man. Honestly, I think it would be. I think we would find the dopest MCs, like, to be honest with you, because there's a whole country of.
It's kind of weird that there's no end of the week Toronto or something, is there?
There was an end of the week Toronto for like a year and a half, but it didn't get the momentum that it was, and also the person who started running it, she became sick. She actually passed. Rest in peace, Monica.
Rest in peace.
And yeah, so it's like I think eventually it will be able to get to that point where there's going to be able to kind of like, not to say like a franchise, but like I think it can expand.
Yeah,
you know
especially if some of the hottest artists are coming out of Toronto, and some makes sense to have a base over there.
Yeah.
Maybe one of us goes out there, starts the end of the week Toronto.
Hey, you never know.
The Greek edition and shit. Yo, let's talk some fucking hip hop, bro. Because that's one of the things I was excited to have you on the show for. And honestly, Tokyo's still in the building. Shout out to Tokyo. We didn't really get to talk hip hop on your episode, so I apologize about that. But since we have you in the hot seat and you are the end of the week 3-time champion, now obviously you're abreast, you're aware of the Lupe fiasco, Royce the 5'9", Mickey Fax,
some knowledge of the
shit that was going on basically. And I kind of have strong feelings about it because I've been a Royce the 5'9" fan for like 25 years now, right? And Royce to me is one of the illest living fucking MCs in the world. Now he had a podcast for people who don't know with Lupe, and their chemistry was kind of standoffish on the podcast the entire time, to say the least. Long story.
At first, I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, and it's not. They just genuinely, that was their vibe, right? and long story long, it breaks out into a conversation of who's the superior MC. Now Royce releases Lambda, which is like a 7-minute. I don't even want to call it a diss track. It was more of a display of his lyrical ability. Lupe comes back with a scathing diss track that was he hit on every axle.
It was fire.
Yeah, and it was fire. And Mickey Fax came behind him with a very fire diss track as well.
Which I think may have even been better.
Yeah, because he rapped in like Royce's style. He rapped like RJ. He rapped. It was crazy. But the reason I wanted to bring it up with you was because one of the points Lupe brought up was like, yo, bro, you want to talk about who's the best MC? Let's do it in EO dub. To which Royce said, no, I'm not on that shit. And then and honestly, I felt like, all of a sudden now, you've been calling yourself the best MC for the last 25 years. You are one of the best MCs, Royce.
Facts.
But now people are saying, okay, well, let's rap. And now all of a sudden you want to be power to the people. I don't want to start beef, And it's like, no, bro. If you're going to call yourself the best rapper in the world, when somebody challenges your pen, bro, you it's time to rap now.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
I'm not bugging.
No.
Okay, good.
And also, especially with there's a dismissive energy.
Yeah, big time.
That was very prevalent in his
big time
initial approach to Lupe bringing this to
EO dub
to their conversation, right? Yeah. Because basically, like, I don't know if I like, but basically, like, Lupe and Royce were on a live on Instagram.
Yeah,
and they were talking about best MCs and what makes the best MC and this, that, and the other, and the constant conversation that we all have, like, that we will forever have
100%.
Of like, who's the best, why, here's my argument, here's why you're wrong, here's why I'm the best, or this or that or the other. It's like, it's the constant GOAT talk, right? GOAT talk. I love GOAT talk.
Yeah,
like, I want to have GOAT talk today, by the way.
For sure.
Let's do it. Like, who's your five, like all of that,
For sure.
Because I was just listening to something and I I was like telling my boy, and I was like, this is like the tangent to the GOAT talk, but like I was telling my boy, I was like, yo, I feel like Wheezy has an argument to be the GOAT.
Big time.
I feel like you could make an argument for it. Now he's not my GOAT, but I feel
He's
like
up there though.
I feel like you could make an argument that Wayne's the greatest of all time. And it was when I listened to his verse on Jack Harlow's What's Poppin' remix. And I was like, bro, he's still coming with it's like, how, bro?
Wordplay, yeah.
How, bro? But anyway, the Lupe and Royce thing went left because Lupe was basically saying like, look, to me, the best MC is someone who goes through the fire, goes through like something to judge them. And it's like, okay, the thing that I've personally seen is the end of the week is the best MC challenge competition possible. So therefore, based on that, the winner of that world finals must be the best MC. Was Lupe's whole argument.
His argument, yep.
And Royce's was basically like, nah, I'll smoke anybody in there. Like, fuck all those dudes. I'll tell them all I'll smoke all those guys. It's not even worth it for me to even acknowledge them.
Exactly.
Like,
He was dismissive. That's the right
that
word.
was basically
That's
his
the right
initial
word for it.
energy, you know?
Yeah,
and
time.
it was kind of like, and Lupe's whole steez was very much like, he was actually talking about Osiris. Like when he was basically saying like, yo, the best MC that I've seen, he said he's better than me. He's better than Jay-Z. This was during the live. He literally said verbatim, I think this guy is better than me. He's better than Jay-Z. He's the best MC.
I don't think he's better than Jay, but
I don't think
nobody's better than Jay.
Listen,
it's the house.
Osiris
It's the house the Rock built.
Osiris would tell you that Lupe was bugging.
Yeah.
And Lupe is Osiris's favorite MC, so he's super gassed that Lupe loves him like that. For sure. But he loves Jay-Z too, and this comes from the fact that in 2019, when Osiris, who's also a 3-time U.S. champion, he won and went to Belgium along with me.
Okay, nice.
But the people who were judging the New York City the finals was Lupe Fiasco, Mickey Fax, Poison Pen, and Mozzie, and so they got a first-hand understanding and experience of like, whoa, like, okay, this is like another level of MCing, right?
Right.
So like when an MC sees another MC and they're like, yo, that's the best MCing. Yeah. It's hard to tell them otherwise.
For sure.
We're MC, like we know what it is. And there's a point where it's like, there's a point in everybody as an MC where you see somebody absolutely destroying it, and you might be like, nah, he's not that good, and eventually it's just like, oh my god, fam, who is this dude? Yeah, like, and you just have to be real with that feeling that you have about greatness. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're watching LeBron or Jordan or an all-time great, at some point you got to stop hating and it just be like, yeah, greatness. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? And so that was Lupe and Royce's discussion. And then Osiris is the person who actually made the first track. He made a Royce diss.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Called Royce the 6 Feet Deep. And that was the first thing that happened after that live. Yeah. And it was like 24 hours after the live. Osiris was like, oh, word? Okay. And he made a track and it was crazy. And he roasts Royce, and basically they had another live where Lupe was saying like, yo, when you gonna answer back to us? And he even said like, if you listen to the diss that Lupe said to Royce, at the end of it he says, we waiting to hear when you're gonna respond to Osiris. Yeah. And that was, he was saying like, yo,
I feel stupid that I didn't hear the Osiris.
Yeah, so he was saying like, why you don't respond to, and that's what he was saying, like, you're getting offended when people who are fans are asking you when we actually ask you to rap. Exactly. Like the whole thing was,
and that's my perspective.
That was
like,
the whole
that's
thing.
That's literally how I feel.
Basically, because that's what some of the stuff that Osiris was saying in his diss was saying like, yo, you said you could smoke us, but you're also saying you don't even want to show up and compete. Like, okay, but bro, I'll smoke you, bro. So I'll smoke you now in this song, and then you can smoke me back if you want, but you're not going to. And he goes off on a tangent about like, if you didn't know Eminem, you'd be working at Walmart. And he has this whole scheme about, he talks about him in first person as a Walmart worker.
That's
and
crazy.
It's super crazy what he did.
That's crazy.
But yeah, and then Lupe with the drop, and then Mickey with the,
Mickey killed it.
God.
Mickey killed it. But I think this leads into a conversation of like, when we're talking about GOATs, and we could definitely get into the GOAT talk. I don't think we've actually ever done that on this podcast, by the way. We could get into the GOAT talk, but I think for sure. But I think GOAT talk, needs to be prefaced with the acknowledgement that there's different sectors of hip hop, right? So like if we're talking about Go Talk, there's studio rappers, there's MCs, there's battle rappers. You know what I mean? There's backpack rappers, there's auto-tune rap. Like it's not all the same thing, and you can't judge it. You can't judge all of these rappers with it in the same lens.
I'm so happy that you said that, because that was also part of what Lupe was talking about with all of these guys about MC.
Right.
Was he was basically saying that exact thing. Like, I'm not saying this guy's the best rapper ever. I'm not saying he's a better rapper all time than Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that in the moment of winning this competition and being the world final champion and killing everybody else, it's such a process to get to that point, that it's like, if you do win that thing, in that moment right there, you're the best MC.
Yeah.
And if you want to say you're the best MC, you must go and be the best MC.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense. No,
Exactly.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
You gotta recognize
If
it.
you want to be the fastest sprinter,
You
then
gotta run,
go
motherfucker,
run
like,
and win the
that's a
gold
fact.
medal.
That's a
And if
fact.
you don't even qualify for your Olympic team, well, good luck at being the best ever. Because
you can be the fastest guy on the planet, but if you're not gonna go compete,
who the hell knows?
And so for me, I think in terms of a studio rapper, I don't think there's a better pen in the game than Royce right now. That's my personal opinion. Studio rapper, in terms of bars on beats and the way that he crafts his words and the way he puts things together. To me, he's at an all-time high level. He's one of my GOATs. But as far as maybe a straightforward battle, and I mean, we saw how it went with Mr. Fab, didn't go good for Royce, right? So in terms of a straightforward battle rap arena, I just don't think that he's built for that. So I mean, maybe that's why he didn't want to do the EO
I
dub.
don't think emotionally he's built for that. No disrespect.
No, I agree. and that's why I wanted to separate it. I think Royce is one of the greatest studio rappers of all time.
You know, Royce is fire, man.
Yeah, he is.
Royce been fire since like
way back.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, there's definitely different categories of
100%
rappers, for
100%.
sure. But when we bring it all together, how do we like? Because would I preclude like a Andre 3K or like a, I don't know, whoever else you know, because it's usually people are like Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas,
Yeah, exactly.
and X person that I'll randomly choose based on how you react to me saying those four.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's
like I know stuff about hip hop.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's like, do I preclude some of these people because like I don't know if they would be good battle rappers?
Mm-hmm.
I think Tupac would be a great battle rapper, by the way,
Maybe.
because of his ability
His
to
energy.
be theatrical
Yeah,
and
his
and
energy.
be like, he would take away your heart in
Yeah.
front of people.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like,
I agree, actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he wouldn't need to, because he's not a technically, like, Pac is not a technically gifted MC.
Yeah, he's not a technically sound
he,
MC at
he
all.
came with the emotion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's
He's
always
an
talking about that
emotional
political
expressive.
shit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
it made
He
you
tugs at
think.
your heartstrings.
Like if you listen to Immortal Technique, you're listening to Immortal Technique for all that crazy shit that he talks
the
about.
mathematical structure of it too,
Yeah, you
right?
know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So
man.
everybody has their own lane of what they're good at, you know.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if I'm gonna mention the best at this specific genre or that genre, it's always gonna be a different person.
I just think Hov is the greatest of all time. I'm sorry.
If
I
we
like
put
Jay-Z,
it all
Jay-Z.
together,
Yeah, I
that's
think
what I
Hov,
wanted. That's
Hov
kinda
is the
like-
rapper's
that's
rapper
the goal,
because
that's the
he does
list.
it all, bro. Lyrically, there's not a lot of people who can fuck with Jay-Z, period. Swag, I mean, come on, bro. Fucking what he's been able to do on the business aspect, maybe that's not like, but it is part of the culture, right? Like he was able to come from nothing and build an empire based on rap, and not a lot of people were not able to do that. I don't know what else to say. Hov is just, he's Hov, bro. like we pray to Hov in my house, bro. Like, you know, like I'm dead serious, son.
I think we could keep going on and on with this, like go talk, and it's not gonna stop, bro. There's just so many things to talk about, you know.
Yeah.
What we gotta know though is what's next in store for Basics.
What's next in store for Basics? Well, I'll be in this competition, and I might be on TV again this second season. I'm not sure. I can't confirm or
Can't
deny
confirm.
any of these allegations.
Fire.
We'll see what happens. But I have new music on the way. Like I said, I have 3 songs that are finished. There's singing in it as well. Because I'm trying to kind of like lean a little bit more into that, you know, Justin Timber Drake.
That's what sells,
bro,
man.
Commercially,
Make
that's
your
where
money,
you're gonna
bro.
make the
That's
money.
what it
Make your
is,
money.
you know.
100%, man. If you could do it, do it.
Yeah, you know. So, but also like, you know, there's definitely some rapping coming too. I got a song on a BK Brooks beat.
Okay.
That's gonna be. It's actually finished. It's called Lotus Rap, and I have another song called More, which is produced by 5P, who made a few of the other beats. Breakthrough. Yeah, he also made the beat for the Dirty 32.
Okay,
I
nice.
remember that.
And he made a lot of the beats in that Raw 101 series were 5P beats actually.
I should have been in that Raw 101 series, but
Facts.
I definitely barred them on that little freestyle. I don't know if you remember it, but I was like, what? I said some shit like fucking how you cipher raw dog if I ain't involved. You know what I'm saying? I was in my feelings about that, but it's all. By the way, it's all love. Shout out to Rossi. It's all love. We're all good. We're all good.
No, but yeah, there's new shit on the way. I'm gonna stop being a perfectionist and kind of just drop it.
Yeah.
I have a hilarious cover that I was debating using for the Lotus Rap joint that I made with Cali. We'll see. I'll show it to you after off camera, and you'll see what you think of it. But yeah, there's new music on the way, and then after that, honestly, just trying to take advantage of some of the opportunities that are being presented to me because of like, you know, and you know, we'll talk about that later with the gems and all that. But like the saying yes is kind of like something that part of the reason where I've gotten to where I've gotten to is just like trying to be open to, you know, new things and just say like, okay, see what happens type thing, you know. But the goal right now is to release as much music as humanly possible, just because I feel like I have a lot of catching up to do as far as like tangible product. I hate to say it like that, but let's be honest, that's really what it is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because like when people see like an interview with Vice saying like, oh, one of the world's best freestylers,
they're gonna
it's
want
like,
to hear the
well,
music.
Can we hear more than 3, 4, or 5 songs?
Yeah.
Can we get an album?
Exactly.
Can we, you know? So I'm trying to
Focus on that, man.
yeah, bro. That's really what it is.
Yeah,
that's really what it is.
You mentioned the gem. It's actually that time. We're segueing into
grab the gem.
Grab
you
that
have to hold it
big-ass
while you
gem
talk.
right
That's
there.
it.
Wow, this right
That's-
here.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So now you gotta drop us
a gem on them, man.
Like we had Tokyo Sensei here last episode, and he mentioned that he wants to travel the world, just travel the world, live off the music. You know what I mean?
Facts.
You're sort of a bit of a walking testimony that you can do that, because you just went to 8 different countries. You're still not where you want to be yet, but I think with the hard work that you're putting in, you're a perfect example.
Word.
drop us that
Hopefully
gem,
it can pay the bills at some point. We ain't there yet, but
Yeah.
Fit it acts.
you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But for dropping a gem, like I was saying, I was just talking about the saying yes, like the reason why my career has kind of like moved in the way that it has is because I was just saying yes to people saying like, hey, you know, do you want to do such and such a thing? Like, for example, the first time that I did a real show was with Todd Smith at Caribbean Paradise.
Shout out to Todd Smith.
In 2013.
Mhm.
And Jay DeVille was one
Shout
of the
out to Jay
rappers
DeVille,
who
too.
was performing that night.
Mhm.
So he got to see me. And before I had ever met him, I had heard one of his songs, I Love Hip Hop, or I'm not sure what it's.
I was in the video. Shout out
Yeah.
Shout out to TNT Tracks back in the day.
Yeah,
we,
facts,
We
exactly.
was outside.
Exactly.
at one
And
point.
so, you know, him seeing me in that show, like a few weeks later, he was telling me like, oh, like my brother is doing a show,
Yeah.
Dozer, and
Yeah.
like Dozer invited me to be in the show.
Shout out to
Actually, you
Dozer,
were in
too.
the show too.
Yeah. Flexing.
Yeah, facts. You were in the show. Natasha Marie was in the show. Roddy Squad was in the show. There was a few other people, and I opened up the show. And that's when I met Justin from Roddy Squad, who was doing a show later, who was like, hey, you killed it tonight, bro. I need somebody for this other show called Iron Mike. Do you want to come do it? And so it's basically like, as far as dropping a gem, I would just say like, say yes to people. You know, you just messaged me the other day and
super
like, hey, like,
super last minute.
Yeah,
But
facts.
Tokyo Sensei as well, super last minute. So shout out to both of y'all for
yeah,
saying
facts,
yes, by the
you
way.
know, and like,
Big time.
and so, and I said yes because at the end of the day, like, there's a theory about basically any platform or any situation that you put yourself into. It's like if you don't say yes to it, you have no idea the doors that the other door you may close. It's like remember when you were younger, you had those stories where you're the hero and you choose which page of the book is next. Oh, you read the thing, it's like, if you want to do this, go
Jump
to page this,
33
or go to this, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, in a way, that's kind of like how life works, because you think you're walking through a yes or a no door in any opportunity, but the truth of the matter is it's a big building, it's a maze, it's a continual thing. So you might say no to that thing, and you don't know, 2 more doors down, you don't know what was behind the yes that you could have said yes to 2 doors later.
That's big.
And that's kind of the thing that has led me to be able to rap and travel and do whatever. Is just because it's like, yeah, why say no to things? And that's kind of like a life lesson. It's not just a artistry thing, it's like a human lesson, you know, not to be grim, but like, we're gonna die one day. And I don't think people really acknowledge that as much as they should, because they think of that's like a grim thing. The reality is like, you only have a finite time. Time is the most important thing. It's the most important resource. It's the most important commodity in the universe, is time. Because time is the only thing that you're always losing, and it's the thing that you can never replace.
Facts.
You can have $1 million today, go broke the next day, and have $10 million at the end of the week, but you won't get the time back. You can't buy time. If you could sell time, you'd be the richest person ever.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, you only have X amount of time to even say yes to certain things. As corny as that lose yourself track is, one of the things that is real about, like, you only get one chance at every opportunity is, you don't know what conversation is going to be had again. You don't know when you go to that one show, there's only 30 people there, and you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have said yes to this. But like, then one person is there who's like, yo, I never seen you before, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And, I have this other opportunity that I'm working on. And
then you're end of the week champ in Prague, you know what I'm saying?
And it could be anything from getting paid to do a show to doing a festival, or, you know, that's how I ended up doing like a few festivals over the last couple of years, is just because people are like, oh yeah, I heard of you. And then you get a sign from like Dramatic or somebody who's there like, yeah, do it, network, da-da-da. And then, so just say yes more, because, you know, you don't know what may come from the yes, you know, and like, it's a much easier way to be in a position of receiving things, is to be open to receiving them, and to just be grateful, and to be more grateful for somebody asking you to make a yes or no decision. Like, people don't understand the power that someone is giving you out of their own time and life and energy to even ask you to do something. And people so quickly and callously look at things and be like, nah, it's all good, I'll get it on the next one, or whatever, you know. And it's like, there may never be a next one. There may not, and there may, even if there's a next one, it wasn't this one, it wasn't that moment, that opportunity to rap in front of that person, or to say hi to this person who then invited you to do this. Or you never know who's gonna come up to you and be like, hey,
this is probably my favorite gem ever so far.
Word up.
That's a big one still.
Word up. Respect, bro.
Facts.
Respect, bro.
You gotta say yes to opportunities.
Yeah.
If you keep getting either scared or whatever it may be,
or just too bougie. I feel like a lot of people are too bougie. I'm one of those people, so I'll definitely take this to heart for sure.
I think,
because I've passed up on a lot of. I'm fucking performing there. There's gonna be 10 people there, but you're absolutely right. The one of those 10 people could have been a record label executive who's in from out of town with his fucking sister-in-law going to get a drink. Like, you never know. You really don't know.
Literally,
you know?
You have no idea who the people you're, and even the people that are showing you a random love, like to continue, like, it's not to say continue to gem, but like, it sounds corny to treat people well, but like, when people are like, oh yeah, this is basics, or when somebody was like a random fan, quote unquote, is at a show or whatever, and like, oh, you did good, you know, basics, right? I'm like, oh, what's your name? Oh, Michael. Oh, hi, I'm Alex.
Yeah,
it's nice to meet you. Yeah, I go by basics, but my name's Alex. What's your name? Oh, where did I talk to people?
Right.
Build with people. You never know who you're speaking or engaging with, and like, that's another part of the kind of like saying yes vibe. Like, in that in what you just said about like a random person. Like, when I was at the Districts Festival a couple weeks ago, there was one of the organizers from the show who, after we did a end of the week demonstration, was like, bro, da da da, and he was like really talking to me, and he was like really impressed with me, and we spoke for a bit, and then later on he had somebody there that was a friend who is in the industry, etc. And we were politicking a little bit, and I'm not gonna go too deep into that because I don't know what's gonna come of it, but like I wouldn't have spoken to that second person if my reception to the first person showing me love was dismissive or ungrateful, or and that's another thing too. Like when people show you love, you may not realize this, but people are actually giving you the most important thing that they can. Even when they're listening to you rap, you think that they're listening to you. People are giving you their time. People are giving you the most important thing that they have when you're in front of them. So you should make the most use of it, and you should also make sure that they are understanding your appreciation of what they're giving you. That's why I rap the same in front of 2 people as I do in front of 200 or 2,000. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna rap my ass off. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna give you everything. And same thing with a conversation with a random person. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give of myself. You know what I'm saying? Because you're giving of yourself to me too. You know what I mean? That's part of the whole say yes and the time. And so yeah, man, just
big gems, bro.
Try to be more grateful, man. It leads to more things.
More grateful, humble, respectful with the, like you said, with the fans and everything. Like, touch base with them.
Yeah,
actually
for
be
sure.
human. You know what I mean?
That's really what it is, man. Like, you create much better and longer lasting and tangible connections with people, and like it just leads to different moments in the future. Like I'm saying, like, you know,
shout out to Lab, bro. Bless you, bro.
Nah, it's all good, bro. It's just a sneeze, fam. But yeah, it's like, for example, like Dramatic or anyone else who's like giving me like any kind of a love. It's like, yo, that's so heavy, that's so dope, that's so deep, that it's like you gotta kind of humble yourself to the fact that anybody, like, in a way, like, it's crazy that people like watch your podcast. Like, think about that. You guys put your time and energy into something, and then people are taking their time and energy and showing you enough love and appreciation.
And we actually are getting decent views. To be honest with you, it's not terrible. Like,
you know what? And 1 is more than 0.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole thing that I'm talking about. Is like, if you say no to something, it's for sure a 0.
Yeah, you're right.
You killed the math.
What do they say? You miss every shot you don't take.
Correct.
Right? I was in somebody's shorty's inbox this week telling her that shit. Like, listen, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but shit, you know,
the worst you can say is no.
Exactly.
But if I don't present you with the opportunity, or if I don't build, then it's for sure a no, because I didn't allow that creation to happen.
And by the way, to that female, I apologize again if I overstep my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? But you do miss the shots you don't take, so. You know what I'm saying?
Approach women with kindness and empathy and respect, gentlemen.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Just to let y'all know, you get a lot further in honest, open communication as well. Be clear with what you're looking for and what you want.
Exactly.
Out of people.
Yeah.
You know, sidebar.
Mm-hmm. So basics. Where can the people find you right now? I know you got Spotify. You have Instagram. Do you have Facebook?
Everything is just spell basics. So JUSTSBELLBASICS. So just spell basics. In fact, on Instagram and a lot of places now, if you just write basics, it should pop up.
It does pop up, yeah.
But which is dope. Shout out the algorithm strength, you know. But everywhere, Spotify. Give me one split sec.
Take your time.
Shout out this pen.
The pen's kicking his ass, bro.
Shit kicked me in my chest right there.
You heard?
You know what I'm saying? Like a monkey punch. Bow, bow, bow. Had to catch my breath. Take a little water. Hydration. Keep my vocal cords moist. Pause. Just kidding. No, but yeah, YouTube everywhere. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If I could ask people to do that, if they see, I'll send you guys the links, and
they'll be
add it to
links
the
will be below, ladies and
all
gentlemen.
that
so
stuff.
Take a look.
I'll even get these guys to follow me back on Instagram because they don't follow me.
I
yet,
follow you.
But, the Hustle Podcast.
Oh, okay. I'm not in control of that, Talia.
The Hustle Podcast always follows the guest after.
Shout out to KTO
right after
too, by the
interview.
way. Shout out to KTO.
What's up,
Miss
Talia?
you.
You looking good today?
Miss you.
All right.
Wanted
Talia,
to see
thank
you
you
today.
for-
Was excited to give you a hug.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow me everywhere. Just Spell Basics, Spotify, all that good stuff. I mean, if you're feeling particularly generous, feel free to pay me directly by buying my music on Bandcamp. That would affect my monetary sustenance much more than any other platform.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to give me 1/10 of a penny, though, you can play my music on Spotify and YouTube. I will take 1/10 of a penny.
And if you want to send money to the Hustle Podcast, just send us some money too, man.
You know what I mean? Like, that's really what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're everywhere. We're everywhere online as Just Spell Basics. Mostly because a lot of times when I come at shows in different places, people were always like, for a long time, people were like, "Yo, how do you spell basics?" And I had to go through the process of being like, it's like how the normal word, like it's not like a BA6 or all this no, like that would defeat the purpose. So it's just basics.
Keeping it basic.
Simplicity,
That's it, man.
fundamentals,
That's it.
you know what I'm saying? Foundation.
Exactly.
Like,
Anyways, I want to thank you for being on the show with us today.
For sure.
thank you guys for having me, man.
I want to also reiterate that this show is happening. It happens and it keeps moving forward from guests like you coming on the show, sharing your story. That's why people are viewing us. It's not just us two over here. It's what you're saying. So like you mentioned that the views we're actually getting some views, and it's because of talented people such as yourself and previous guests that are making it happen. And we thank you guys. We thank you for watching. It's another episode of the Hustle Podcast.
Shout out to you guys.
The biceps don't hurt though. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to Zoo. I've been getting swole lately still. You
We
know, the boy done
outside.
gained like 15, 20 pounds in the last 3 months. You know, I'm feeling
Took
kind
that.
of
Good, bro. You're looking good, bro. You're looking good.
still, you know?
You're looking good, bro.
Yeah.
And look,
man.
if you don't want to be known as the dollar store Drake, just get rid of that.
No, you know what?
That's
I
it,
don't
bro.
think that the dollar store Drake thing is a problem, because I actually like I'm very self-deprecating, and I think it's kind of like an endearing quality to have. I don't think people are self-deprecating enough. Like, it's part of the whole, like, oh, I'm humble. It's terrible to say that I'm humble. It's not humble to say that. But like, you know, one of my boys said dollar store Drake, and ever since I went international and did like certain things with certain people, I started saying that with some end of the week people from different places, and they ran with it.
I mean,
And,
it is
like,
like
that's
it's
what I'm
a
like
super
known
catchy
as
moniker,
now.
I'm
Like,
not
yo,
gonna lie.
dollar
Yeah.
store Drake. Hey, yeah. You know, like, so I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, look,
personally,
when you
so.
shave it off, eventually you're gonna have another moniker. So I'm not worried about
There's
that.
no shaving, man. Honestly.
Yeah, I made that mistake. Let's not
Ooh,
talk about
Lord
it.
of mercy.
I've been embarrassed for the
You
last
gotta
2 weeks.
kind of, you know what I'm
So
saying?
yeah, I feel you. I do feel you.
All right, man. That's what it is, though, guys. Thank you for watching us.
Love.
Shout out Hustle Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. Y'all ready for this? The Hustle. My name is Steve Armopoulos, and these are my co-hosts. I'm Talia. And I'm Tech Luciano. You may have heard me on radio. You may have never heard of me